Hello friends, welcome to episode 89 of Shauna Stitches. I'm Shauna and this is my crafty podcast where I talk about all the things I've been working on lately. Today is April the 28th, 2024 and I am filming in my craft room here on the Oregon coast. It is a stormy day outside, which seems to be the norm lately. I am wearing my no frill sweater that I knit out of Stress Knits Advent from I think 2019, 2020, something like that. And it is my favorite sweater. Do you see that halo? I love the mohair. It's so soft and warm and cozy. I would definitely knit this pattern again, although I haven't yet. All right, I feel like that's a lot and we're only a minute in. I might be talking really fast today. I feel like I have worked on so much, but before I show you those things, let me remind you that you can find links to where you can find me down below. That's on Instagram and Ravelry as Shauna Stitches. I also link all of the projects that I'll be talking about. Those are Ravelry links and pages, so I'm pretty good about keeping notes in there. If for some reason I don't answer the question that you have or you can't find it on the Ravelry page, please give me a comment or shoot me a direct message and I will be happy to give you the answer if I have it. All right, so let's see. I've finished a couple of things since the last time we talked. The first one is my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. These are the April socks and they are in the color Spring Rainbow, which seemed to be appropriate for the weather and the time of year. And I knit these on the Blueberry Waffles pattern, which is written for DK weight. I've had some questions about that. I just modified it to my normal stitch count, which is 64 stitches on a 2.25 needle, and the repeat of the pattern works perfectly, and I've had absolutely no issues modifying that, so hopefully that works for you too. I do like a slip stitch heel flap and gusset. I do 42 rounds or 21 slip stitches, and the rest is pretty simple. 2x2 cuff right into the pattern, 80 rows of leg, I almost said 70, and about 96 rows for the foot. And there are two and they match. Let's see. They don't quite exactly match 100%. This one had a little bit of blue on the end. This one did not, even though I started in the same place. How does that happen? I don't know. But I'm very excited to have these done. And I have picked out my May color. There it is. This is the color Somebody Got Flocked. And those are like the lawn flamingos that you see people putting on people's lawns. I don't know. I don't do that tradition. I don't quite get it, but I love the color. I really kind of struggled to pick a color. I had 4 or 5 that spoke to me and none that really seemed May, because right, April showers bring May flowers, which I guess this is kind of floral, but I don't know. I asked my husband and this is the one he picked, and I'm not mad about it because it's the one I would have picked too. So very excited to get that caked up, and I will be casting on May 1st. If you don't know, I do the Desert Vista Dyeworks monthly, yearly knit along, and the goal is to knit one project every month that uses at least half a skein. Mine are mostly socks. I did one muscle burrow hat last year, but yeah, this is the last year that they're doing it, and I've enjoyed it so far. I don't know what I'm going to do with my year next year. My second finished object is an oldie but a goodie. It's my Handspun Socks 2 Ways socks. And I started these November 7th of 2020 after just spinning up the yarn. The fiber is from Spindelicious and it's in the colorway Like Totally. So what I did for these was I broke the braid in half exactly, and I spun 1/2 all to this bobbin, which I then chain plied, and the other half I broke into 3 and spun each third onto its own bobbin and then plied as a traditional chain ply. And I just love how these turned out. I did do commercial yarn for the heels, cuffs, and toes. The green is pickle juice in Knit Pick Stroll, and the hot pink is pucker, which I can't imagine 2 colors that match this better. It's so perfect. I have talked about it on previous episodes, but the one thing that kind of made these socks take forever for me was, first of all, I started them 2 at a time, which I don't love. And then I was finding that as I knit, which I knit as a flicking style, meaning that the yarn is held in my right hand and I flick the yarn around. I do not drop my yarn. It's just held always in my right hand. And by doing that, my hand spun was unplying. And this, I don't think I put enough ply twist in to begin with. Like, it's not terrible, but it was loosely plied, and then with the unplying, it was just too much, and you could literally see the 3 separate strands, which you don't want. So I ended up knitting Continental, which I can do because I do stranded color work, and that's how I knit. I knit one color in my right hand, one color in my left hand, but I am so slow at it, and I have never knit an entire project in Continental ever. With these, I think I started the Continental, I can't remember now if it was down here or if it was up here. For sure, the whole upper leg on both is in Continental. And on this sock, I think you might even be able to see it. It feels like it gets a little bit looser right in here, which Continental is supposed to be looser, but it's not enough to matter. I have not washed these. I have not blocked them, but they fit. So here is my question to you. I have a lot of yarn left over. That's how much I have of each, roughly 30 grams, and each sock used about 30 grams, so I could knit a whole other sock to match this one. So instead of having one pair like this, which is I'm calling hand spun 2 ways, I could have 2 separate, pairs of socks. But I also had the idea that I've been wanting to knit the pressed flowers socks. I just love the whole pressed flowers line, even though I've not knit anything in it. I just think it's so pretty. Actually, that's not true. I knit the pressed flowers hat. And from what I remember, since I just forgot about it, knitting it was easy enough. I know it's mosaic knitting, and these would be the flower colors, so I'd have like 2 matchy, non-matchy pairs of socks. So you have these ones that'll be 2 ways, and then the pressed flowers would be 2 ways, with one being the chain ply self-striping, and then the other being more of the marled effect. So that's what I'm really leaning towards, because I have that pattern in my queue and it's on my to knit list. But what do you think? Should I knit a second sock for each to have 2 matching pairs, or should I knit the pressed flowers and have, again, 2 matchy, not matchy socks? Definitely curious to know what you think. I guess if I had a strong opinion one way or another, I would just make up my mind. I think I want to do the pressed flowers, but also I could see the benefit of having those. However, those took me 4 years to finish, and if it takes me 4 years to finish 2 more socks, that would be terrible. So let me know what you think. I just love this. This is the best color. How can you not be happy looking at these? They're just so bright and in your face, and I love them. All right. Speaking of spinning, I've been doing a lot of spinning, and actually, yeah, let's just talk about spinning. I do have one more project that I've been working on, and it's laying over there on the bed because I had to block it, and it's still damp. So let's talk about spinning first, and then we will talk about that. Okay, let's see where to start. We will start with this. This is my support spindle from Crivelli, Georgia. This, I think I showed you guys the 3 that I got in my last order, and this was the short one. It's about an inch shorter than I'd say the standard ones. I don't know why. Not sure what the benefit would be to having a really short drop spindle or support spindle. But I own it. I'm going to give it a try. I don't hate it. I just wish I had that extra inch because I'd have more room for this temporary cop, and then I could bring this up more too. But this is a very small 7.7 gram mini. So for that, it's perfect. And it spins so good. It's better if my finger's not in the way, but anyway, you get the idea. So I'm enjoying it. I like the weight of it. I just wish the stick part was like another inch would be fantastic. But I will use it, and that's that. I'm half done with this spin. So like I said, it's very small. This is the first part of the fractal, so it was half of the fiber, and then the second half of the fiber that I have set aside, I tore into 4 pieces. So I have been spinning all of these little minis, the ones that I showed you last time, which before I open this, how cool is this? I wound them together, and I think they go so well together. You would never know that that's not one spin, but it's actually 2 spins. These ones, and I've been spinning these little minis on support spindles with the thought that I will be putting them in a project. So these are my older ones that I had already shown. I have 2 more that I've plied up. I plied and washed and blocked blocked? Do you block them? I thwacked them and snapped them, which is supposed to help redistribute the twist. Here is this pink one. This one is also small. I think it was roughly 7 or 8 grams also, so I should get about as much as that purple one I just showed you. Before washing, this was something like 49 yards, so it's very short, very small. And then I have this larger one, which was some kind of wool and silk. And again, I said it last time, I'll say it this time. The feel of a silk yarn, or like silk, is it combo? No. Blend. Thank you. That's the word I wanted. The feel of a silk blend is so nice. I just don't love spinning it, but oh, the yarn. You need feel-o-vision because it's so soft and squishy. So I will get those recalculated for grist and all that. But that's what I have so far. That's pretty good, I think. You can see a very blue and pink theme, which is not my intention. In fact, if you add this in here, you can see there will be different colors, but so far that's just what I have spun. I haven't mentioned my background. I did change it a little bit because I had several people say that they enjoyed seeing the yarn in the background versus just the all-white door of the closet. So I switched this back, but I did try and rearrange this just a little bit so it looked maybe a little bit nicer. There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to it other than before I just kind of like shoved things up there. But this cubby right here, I don't know what you can see there, but it is all of my hand spun. And if not all, it's most of my hand spun. I have a lot more than I thought I had, to be honest. This one is just kind of random. This one here, I'm going for my acquisitions for the year, but I think some of it isn't from this year, so I have to rearrange that. And this one's just some fiber back here. And while I was rearranging, I found my little turtle that I spun on a Turkish spindle. It's fun. I don't know if I'll ever apply this, but it looks kind of cute just sitting there as a little turtle. Somewhere I have the rest of the fiber and the Turkish, so in a perfect world, I will spin that up someday. But yes, I'm just loving these. I really hope they work for the project I intend them for, and if not, I hope I find a good project for them. Okay, let's see. That is not all the spinning. I started a new spin on my electric eel wheel 6. I haven't used that wheel in about a year, and I forgot how much I love it. Why is it like I will not use a tool for a while and I just forget how fantastic it is. So I am doing the spin, which doesn't give a good representation of the color because this is the very first time I have ever rewound singles onto a bobbin. So let's see here. This is just to give you an idea of what the fiber looks like that I'm spinning. So I took the entire braid, which I'll pop a photo in. It looks like this but bigger, and I split that into 3 sections. The first third I spun end to end. That's what this is, and that's why you can't really tell a lot of the colors, because when you rewind your singles, instead of them being in color block sections, you spread them kind of evenly over the bobbin back and forth. So you really are just seeing the very first bit. And I don't know, so far I like it. The tool that I use to do that is called Bobbins Up, and this piece here goes on the end of a drill. So it's like a drill bit, and then it goes into the bobbin. Unfortunately, I've had this in my stash for a long time. I've never used it, and they have discontinued the product. So that sucks. I think somebody should, come out with a new version. That'd be great, but I wonder if they patent it and maybe somebody can't come out with a new version. I don't know. But I was fortunate enough to have bought 3 of these, and then I have one of the ends prior to them going out of business, and just never used them till now. So I'm really happy to have that because there are other ways to rewind your singles. I just don't really know how. I tried looking it up, and maybe on my wheels I don't have that possibility. But supposedly it makes for a smoother finished yarn. Oh, I didn't tell you. So I'm doing a 3-ply. I am all over the place. So this is ply 1. Ply 2, I broke that third into 2 sections, and I'm currently spinning that at the moment. And then the third portion I broke into 4 sections, and I will be spinning those. I didn't say. This is Spindelicious. Again, I just love her dyeing. And it is in the color Sugar Plum Fairy, which I did see she has it on pre-order. It's still a color that she dyes, but this is on 100% Polwarth, which I don't think I've ever spun, and she said she currently does not have that base in stock, and I'm not sure if she will get it or not. She did tell me that she's planning on getting a Cormo, and I really want to try that. I've not spun Cormo before. Anyway, back to why you might rewind your singles. The reason is it creates a smoother yarn, a more balanced yarn, and if as you're rewinding your singles onto a different bobbin, if you have your original bobbin quite some distance away, so there is a long line of singles before you're putting it on here, it's supposed to help redistribute the twist so that it's more consistent. I don't know, because this is my first time. I think I tend to be a fairly consistent spinner anyway, but I will say the difference is the e-spinner. I don't know if this is true. I feel like I might be more consistent on my wheel, but technically I should be more consistent on the e-spinner because the speed is always constant. It takes out the human portion of that, and then all I have to do is draft the fiber. So we shall see. I am spinning this opposite of, I guess you would say, the normal or standard way of spinning, and now I'm blanking on which way is which, and I wish I had my wheel in here because I could tell you, but I think, do you normally ply Z and then, or I'm sorry, spin Z and then ply S? Either way, I'm doing it the opposite way because when I spun this and then started knitting it, it was untwisting. So I'm experimenting to see if I do it the opposite way, if the yarn won't untwist for the way that I knit. And if that's the case, that will be my normal way of spinning, plying, whatnot. So I'm hoping so, but we shall see. Stay tuned. I have no idea how much yardage I'm going to get on that, but if I get enough, I'm hoping to do a muscle burrow or the sock head cowl, the one that I've told you I love so much. All right, let me go grab my other knitting project that I wanted to show you, and I will be right back. All right, here we are. This is, look at my holes, and it is so hard to show because you see the holes, you definitely see the holes. Can you see me through the shirt? I don't know. It's fuzzy, so I can't see you, but anyway, I have done 6 repeats of the body so far after separating from the sleeve, and per pattern, they say to knit 2 or 3 repeats, which, I mean, we're talking like right here. I tried this on and it still doesn't even come close to covering my belly button. It's probably a few inches away. And the fact that I've knit so much more than the pattern says, and I seem to be on gauge because it's fitting, although maybe my row gauge is different. I'm not sure. Anyway, I decided to block it and wash it. I don't think it's changed much, but it's still wet, and so I'm not trying it on while it's wet. I'll wait till it dries. I did recake that ginormous cake of yarn that I had. It was starting to all fall apart from the outside. And the exciting thing is now I can put this on my magnetic yarn holder to knit from this instead of how I was doing it before. So I don't think my ball winder would be able to do all 200 grams of this yarn normally. So starting from the beginning is not an option, and it wasn't too hard to wind this up, but it was still connected to the sweater, so that made it a little more difficult. Gosh, it's really holding the water in. It's quite wet, so I don't know. Hopefully that's dry soon. That's what I wanted to work on this morning, but obviously with it being wet, I'm not knitting on it. So I have been knitting on my sock design. I didn't bring it in here. I have nothing new to show. Still not really showing off the detail of the pattern at all, but I am knitting the first sock of my size, and I'm close to starting the gusset. So once I'm through the heel flap and gusset portion of the sock, I will know whether or not my instructions are good. Then I can send it off and have a tech editor look over it, and maybe have some testers and get some feedback. So hopefully that is a thing sooner rather than later. It's just hard because then I'll work on it for now, and there's only a few days left of the month, and then I will cast this on, and then it will get put on the back burner again. So it seems to be working okay. I'm just rotating through some projects, but if I had my preference, I would continue to work on certain things like the sock design rather than starting this. So on one hand, I'm glad that this is the last year of this. On the other hand, it's been really fun. So I guess it's good that I participated for 2 years. All right, let's see. I'm looking around me to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. I don't think so, but let's get into a little bit of life stuff. Did you notice that my hair looks different? I decided to cut my own hair. Stephanie from Texas Peach Knits months ago, maybe even a year ago, told me that she cut her own hair and I liked it. And at the time she told me that she uses Brad Mondo's butterfly cut video, and oh, it wasn't a year ago. I think it was right before I had my hair cut at the salon. Anyway, I just didn't have the guts to do it, and so I looked at some scissors online, Amazon, and I didn't order them. Then fast forward, the other day my hair was just looking so heavy at the bottom, and I wasn't particularly happy with my salon cut that I got. All she did was trim off the ends. Everything was very straight. She didn't do any shaping, layering, anything, and I hate to say it, but I don't know what to ask for. So then who was it? Oh, I know, it was, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. She does quilting videos. Anyway, she also used the butterfly cut, and I was like, okay, everyone's using this cut, I'm going to try it. So I followed the video. It took me like 3 attempts to remove as much length as I wanted, which if you see this, it's still really long. I think before it was to here. So I did lose some length, but it's still quite long. The nice thing is though, is now I have layers. So there's different sections, and I didn't do a lot to style my hair at all today. It's really just kind of, it's just hair, but it is a little bit curly. It seems to curl better cut like this. But let me just tell you, so in my pack of scissors that I got from Amazon, they are hair cutting scissors. I also got a pair of thinning shears. And I don't know what I'm doing with thinning shears, but I seem to do okay. It was like if you had kind of a heavier spot, then, you know, you put the shears in and it just takes some of the heaviness away. Well, I had done that a few times. And then I saw a section over here and it was like, oh, that looks kind of, you know, heavier, thicker than the rest. So I'm just gonna trim that up with some thinning shears. So I grab my scissors and I have my hair held out and I do the cut, and immediately I know that I did not use thinning shears. I used the regular hair scissors. Like I'd been thinning shears all over. I picked up the wrong pair. I'm not even kidding. My stomach dropped and I almost puked. I have never felt like that in my life. And that is saying something because I have shaved my head bald before. The difference was I was not in a mindset of shaving my head bald. So I immediately just stopped. I'm like, okay, we're done. I can't fix that. Nothing, no more cutting is going to fix that. And you'll see, let's see, can I find it? I don't even know. I mean, it does blend in pretty well. Maybe you can see it. I'm having a hard time seeing in the camera. I think that's a piece because it's shorter than the rest. So there's a little section back here that is shorter than the rest, but with the curl, it really does hide it better than I thought. But the whole rest of that day, I just kept going to the bathroom, looking in the mirror and like seeing it, and oh, it was a bad moment. But let me tell you, I will never make that mistake again. Never. I may never use the thinning shears again either, but I am pretty set on continuing to do this haircut. So luckily my hair grows pretty fast. I guess we'll give it a couple months and then I will redo it, just, you know, give it a little trim. And I like it. I mean, I don't hate it anyways. So that's about as good as I can ever say for my hair because I'm not good at styling it. I have very fine hair. Now that it's curly, it actually has a little more body than it ever has had, but that was a long rant about hair. What else? I'm still reading Outlander 9, which is Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. I am on page 622 or so, and that's roughly 65% through the book. So we're getting there. I completely forgot. So in the middle of all this, I did read another book because the Kindle reading challenge that pops up, one of the challenges was to read a first book in a series, but it could only be certain series that they were offering. And I went on their Prime eligible books and I found one. It was pretty short. Let me see if I can find the name of it for you because I know I have it. Anyway, so it didn't cost me anything to get the book. It was like 225 pages and I enjoyed it. So much so that I stopped in the middle of reading Outlander and read that, finished it, and then came back to Outlander. It is called The Bones at Point No Point, which is by, well, no, who is it by? Let me tell you. By D.D. Black, and it's a Thomas Austen crime thriller #1. So #1 is on the Prime reads, and the rest of them are not. I think the rest are like $4.99 each. I may or may not read the rest, but not right now. Oh, how could I forget? We have a winner to announce for the magnetic yarn holder. As soon as the winner gets a hold of me, I will get this in the mail. But I did do a drawing earlier. I used one of the random YouTube comment pickers and I highlighted the word magnet so that it would only pick comments with that word. And the winner is Barbara Harper 7134. And she tells me, I love the yarny background. I also love the magnet yarn holder you have. So Barbara, get in touch with me and send me your address and I will get that to you in the mail. So exciting. I'm still loving mine. It is a complete knitting game changer, and I hope you will think so too. All right, I'm looking around me. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy that you're here, and please leave me a comment down below if you feel so inclined. Your likes and subscriptions also mean a lot to me, and let me know what I should do with this, because that is too much hand spun to waste, especially when I love the color so much. I just had a thought about this. I could put more twist in here, but I don't think I will. Anyway, I'm done. I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.